well, part of World Tank's problem. Well, not part of World Tank's problem, but part of the problem with that game is a little bit of historical, like, you know, wanting it to be kind of more historical. So like especially the Germans and a few other Americans, they did the same thing with the Sherman. You know, they had a lot of variations. So World of Tanks kind of was like, well, technically this tank is technically better at fighting these level of tanks, but in reality, reality's always different, right? But
Yeah.
it makes it hard to adapt it to a game per se. That's what I'm saying. So,
yeah. Did they follow that just a little too closely?
Yeah, follow that. Yeah. Because technically it's better than the last variation, but not by much. And then you get the problem where like you're like, well, I just want this way better tank, but I gotta slog through this one that's just slightly better.
There's also the problem the game has that, you know, there weren't that many tanks in the world, so like they have to use like plans and prototype type things, and there's no way to know how that tank actually performed or if it actually could work at all. So and then they balance it based on what kind of cannon it would have, what kind of engine it would have, and like, well, the problem with it is though, like, there's no way to know, even if it did have that good of stuff, could that have been realistic? Like, could it really done anything? Or would it have had glaring flaws? Like maybe it overheated and would just like break down, and there was no way to really fight other tanks with it at all. And that's not calculated into anything.
That's the trouble a bit, is that it's, you know, basically theoretical.
Yeah.
That's the entire trouble.
Presumably, it would have done this, but
they do the same thing a lot of warships for, like, you know, the Germans. I like playing the Germans, but it gets to a point where the Germans, you know, obviously in World War II didn't make any more battleships after like the Bismarck class, right? They had plans to make more battleships and stuff, but that's all World of Warships does. It's like, okay, this is the theoretical, you know, what someone designed up for a ship, and then they put it in the game, right? But Brian is right. You don't know how that ship would perform against other ships in the era. You know?
We know how the Bismarck
like, it's nice to write down on paper that a ship would weigh X amount and have these guns.
Yeah.
Does the ship actually weigh that amount and have those guns? Like, is that even possible? But they say, well, it had this gun, and this gun on this tank would be this, so this tank is faster and lighter and has the same gun, so of course it would be much better.
You're like, wow, why did they never produce it then?
And then yeah, exactly. There's reasons some of these did not get produced.
I told Ben that was my biggest problem with the idea when they made that golf game set in the Legacy of Kain world, and they had their different character classes they turned out and all. Like, the problem is the lore has a certain quantity that everybody's aware of and everything. Yeah. So after a certain point, you're like, okay, we're getting into, like, we have to make something up somehow.
Yeah.
And it's caught in between time periods since time travel was involved.
So I'm okay with that when it's.
So then you have to be like, well, where did this go when Soul Reaver 1 happened? You know?
Right. Well, I would just say I'm okay with that in a fictional universe to begin with, because it's fine, do whatever you want with it. But like when you're saying I want this stuff to be realistic, so we're going to give things realistic stats, and then you use made up stats, like, what are you even doing? You know, that's the only problem with it. Yeah, that's literally made up stuff, but they're trying to be as realistic as possible. Yeah, they got to give it up.
At some point, it has to be theoretical, though. Hey, Ben.
Yeah.
There's this mine here. I don't think you ever got it. No pipe.
I need to get it yet.
Who's working on it?
What's the Y coordinate?
341.
341. 29 would be to the right of the main pipe. When you use a teleporter, there's a cooldown on 5 minutes, just so you know.
5 minutes? Why? The thing is so expensive. Like, I think that was a bottleneck or whatever.
Cool.
I got a new mech, guys.
Cool, congrats.
You know, I mean, teleporters are so realistic.
Yeah. They really shouldn't feel the need to put teleporters in, you know, everything. But anyway.
Man, how
I was telling Ben and Andy that I played a game earlier called Only Up. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, you climb. You're a little boy or whatever. You climb into the sky to get away from, you know, the horrible shit that happens on the ground. But I got 30 minutes into it, and then I fell out and found out it starts all the way over at the beginning. There is no save. There is no save point.
Yes. Yep. It's one of those rage bait games. Yep.
So I deleted that motherfucker.
Yep. It's a rage bait game. Yep. A lot of people, I've watched YouTubers and Markiplier and other people like Jacksepticeye. They intentionally play those games so they get pissed off, and then people are like, ah, and laugh at them. So, yep.
Yeah, I played this horrible game, so you don't have to.
Yep. Literally. Yep. I mean, I got getting over with Benefati. Don't get that game either.
That game is the same as what Dad's talking about, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's the one where he threw his fucking chair.
Yes.
Oh,
That's
well.
the one where I threw his chair. Yep.
Well, other than just like you fall and lose all your progress, that one also has really bad controls on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Correct.
To where you can easily screw up.
And if you do everything right, yes, it'll make you like accidentally. Yeah, you can just be like, oh shit.
And then it'll be sometimes like have a sign that says go this way, and that's the right way. So if you go the other way, you end up back at the beginning.
30 minutes into it, I was way up in the sky, and I reached a platform, and there's like a bed there, and I thought, well, maybe this is a save point. I thought, no, you jump on it and it springs your ass off.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That's not funny.
It is funny, but it's also not funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's bullshit.
Just to fuck with you.
I got 100,000 cash. I am rich.
Now I do know there is a game that I am playing with like Glenn and Jesse and stuff where it's called Chain Together, where it's the exact same thing, but that game has optional where you can turn on checkpoints. But the big problem is even if you have checkpoints, you're chained together. So if Glenn or Jesse or someone decides to jump and I don't, we fuck each other and then we fall.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
If one person screws up, y'all screw up.
yep. Which makes that rage bait game a lot more tolerable in my opinion. It's more funny.
I
Yeah.
don't know why a person in the bank that the wall like that.
So
That's like playing, you know, one of those characters that when you die, that's it. Character's gone.
People,
Hard
a challenge.
it's hard to say. People like playing things they see as challenging and something that doesn't like let you come back so easy. You know, I could see that as people thinking it's challenging. You know.
yeah, roguelites have that. Darkest Dungeon
Yep.
is really hard. Dark
Yeah.
Souls games are intentionally, hard for that reason. Makes you feel like you've accomplished something.
Yeah.
It's a fucking game.
I think that for Dark Souls, I think one of the things they were trying to do was they were trying to kind of recreate the original Zelda formula. Because it was like, the idea is basically they dump you into a world with no real explanation just because they don't hold your hand or anything, so you can go to the wrong place and die. You know? And that was how the very first Zelda had a tendency for that, and a lot of people were actually like, this is kind of cool, because it doesn't treat me like a baby. I just
Well,
kind
like
of
most
wander
of the
around
people-
and do what I want. But at the
Like
same
most of the
time,
people on Steam said, though, on that game that I played, the reviews on it, they're like, I don't have 4, 5, 6 hours to sit and play a game. I have a real life,
yeah. Well, that's kind of the trouble with that sort of stuff in particular when you don't have checkpoints. Extra Credits did a thing way back for that called Humane Design.
Yep.
When
Like
they're
having
people
games that you
have
can't
babies,
pause,
they can
even though they're
work.
single player. Yeah.
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 You can't pause, but it's single player, so no one else is being affected.
Well, you know what happens if you're in the middle of a game or something like that, and you get an important phone call or some
Power
shit
goes
like
out.
that?
You're done, though, Sunzo.
You're fucked. Yeah. Start
Or
at the
power
beginning.
goes out,
Sorry.
or whatever.
Sorry, not sorry.
And because of that, on Steam, it has negative reviews. So, you know.
I mean, I'm surprised.
A lot of those.
In my opinion, I'm surprised that has negative reviews because people should know what they're getting into when they get that game.
Yeah, true.
But like some of
How do
those
you know? They don't
things
tell you there's not a save.
ages ago, back with the Nintendo, the original Nintendo days and all, they're like, yeah, this game might be hard and it might take several hours to beat and all that. I was like, but part of it, in no small part because of hardware issues and stuff like that. So like, basically, no Nintendo game, you know, if you're doing good and all, if you know what you're doing and everything, basically no Nintendo game is going to take you more than about 2 hours.
Well,
And that's even if you get through it, you know, straight away and everything. And it was like, but there were Nintendo games that didn't have saves. So it was like, if you want to beat this game, you have to plow through 2 hours and play. And there's some of the things more than others. It was like, you don't really, you have to just sit through it. There's no way to skip past, you know.
I don't understand why you would want to limit your clientele like that. You know, you're costing yourself clientele by doing that. There's a whole lot more people that would prefer a save spot, or at least some spot where it saves your progress, as opposed to you're dead. Do it all over again.
Let's make a toggle so that you can have it on if you want to have it off. Make it
I think that.
And
I
somebody
think
on
that's what the big
somebody on
difference
the somebody on the reviews posted, you know, they got a train route for this thing. Why make people have to go get a trainer to save a spot? Just institute a damn save spot.
Well, not everyone wants that, so as long as they make a toggle, I'm fine with that.
I think that's what they probably should do with that stuff. I was like, just make that hard mode.
Yeah.
Hard mode is if you screw up, you know, or whatever, you die and there's no save point.
Yeah.
That's hard mode. Congratulations. Here's your challenge. Don't die.
I'm gonna get the pipe more room here.
I have extended the pipe to 526.
Back to the reviews and other people not knowing what they get into. I would say most people, at least me, I don't even buy a game based on the store page anymore. I look at the store page and then I watch gameplay and then I watch a review online.
Yep,
and then
check
I'm like,
reviews.
Okay. So
Definitely.
basically, I know exactly what the game is and how it's going to work and everything before I even play it. So
Typically, if a game has negative reviews overwhelmingly, though, I won't even bother.
that I can see. Yeah, I can see that too. Yeah.
If it has negative reviews, it should be avoided probably. Because even mostly positive is kind of suspect a little bit. B, I got at 423.
423?
There's mine. Yeah.
I'm coming.
Oh, that's why a lot of people say those Telltale games and all those games where you like make choices and then the story evolves and you become human stuff. Don't get me wrong, there's the people that play them, but there's a whole lot less people that don't play them anymore because you can just watch every ending and how everything goes online. So,
Yeah. Well, me and Andy played Fear 3. Fear 3 has a shitty story. I'll just tell you guys that right now. And it also doesn't make fucking sense. But me and Andy played. Oh shit. Me and Andy played through, and it's got 2 separate endings, and it bases them off of.
Oh, I didn't get it. What?
Off of which player has the most points in the end. So we played through twice, and both times the person who played Fiddle, had the most points because, of course, you did. You're a psionic ghost. Anyway, but the ending was like shitty and didn't make sense, and Fiddle eats a baby or some shit at the end. I don't know. Anyway, we finally said, you know what? Fuck it. We'll just look it up online and see what the other endings are. Sorry, there's 3 endings, and the other endings are no less confusing.
Yep.
It's just that
Yeah, no.
there's not a baby.
Wholeheartedly, I mean, I played Detroit Become Human because I just wanted to experience and go through it by myself. If you just didn't want to spend the money and you're like, I really just want to experience this game, you could literally just watch
Almost
endless
anybody.
people play every ending and then
Yep.
everything.
I tell you, I played it for a little while and then I got a refund because it was just, I mean, I like story games some,
You know what I'm talking?
but yeah, it gets really slow and there's a lot of shit to do. And,
I think
or
that
listen
you
to
have to
and-
begin kind of mood sometimes to play games that are more about conversation and social things.
I guess when I was younger, I was probably more patient.
Probably.
Now that I'm older, I'm like, fuck, let's get to the killing.
Well, you recognize the patterns, and you're like, okay, great, let's move on. And when they don't, then it pisses you off. Because I don't know that it's necessarily a lack of patience. It's just like you already know how it goes, and you know you're not interested in X, Y, or Z. So you're like, okay, get to the point.
I think it gets people
graphics
too
were
sometimes because
fabulous.
they give you. I think it gets on people's nerves sometimes too because they'll give you options, but it's like none of these options are things I would take. Or it says, you know, like
Right.
gruff response, and it's like, well, that wasn't gruff. That was just a straight up a-hole move.
Just being a
That's-
dick.
Yeah.